What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. This is our round 4 DFS Showdown targets for the 2021 Wells Fargo Championship. Craig, after Saturday or during Saturday, it looked like Rory's going to make his move and be the leader, but Keith Mitchell ultimately is 2 strokes up on Rory and Gary Woodland here.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, the course is good, first off, I think. It's one of these ones that it's not going to be decided until they are in the house on, through 18, because anything can happen on that hole. Anything can happen on that last stretch of holes. So I think it makes for exciting, just as a fan, it makes it exciting. And it also makes it exciting for showdowns because it's so easy. Like, you can have bogeys so easily. And you kind of expect if people have holes left that they're going to pass, but when they can be moving the other way, it makes it fun.
Like, I felt a little bit with Carlos Ortiz today, one of my picks and sleepers. I found the creek twice somehow coming in on 18.
Yeah, not so fun when it's your guys making big numbers.
Not so fun that way. But there's birdies out there, but there's definitely bogeys. Their bogeys are worse. But I kind of love this kind of, it's a true test of golf where we have everyone under 10, like less than 10 under through 3 days. It just feels like the best golfer I think is going to come through here. And that doesn't always happen, I feel like.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think that this course especially, I think it really separates people on distance as well. So, like, unless you're playing exceptionally well as a shorter hitter, you need to be able to poke it out there. But yeah, no, I think it's a great leaderboard. I think it's going to be very exciting. I think,
So we'll get into our winner and winning predictions at the end of the show here. But where do you think the guys seriously have a chance here? Do you think the 4 under group has a chance to make a move?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's scores to be had, and it's so easy for people to play over par. So I would say that 4 over has a chance.
4 under.
Yeah, sorry, 4 under has a chance. But yeah, I don't know. I think there are some names up there that, Rory specifically, that are gonna. I don't see him going anywhere. So, a guy like Hovland or Reed or Answer, they're gonna have to go out there and chase.
Yeah, a lot can happen in one day of golf. Let's look at how the course has been so far. It's been over par every single round. Round 2 was the worst at plus 1.94. Craig, are you hearing me here? We're not in the...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
There we go. It's been over par every single round. 1.94 round 2 was the worst. It was the easiest today. That is kind of something. You lose those guys in the cuts and the best golfers remain, but it was plus 0.77. Our picks, Craig, still beating the field by a full stroke, minus 0.67. Again, we almost had everyone par or better, but Ortiz was 1 under going into 18 and kind of collapsed there. But looking ahead at tomorrow, so we have the low rounds there, but looking ahead at tomorrow, we have some serious wind and serious gusts.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's interesting because obviously it looks right now like it's going to be harder for the leaders going out later in the day. It looks like people going out early are going to have a slight weather advantage. So what do you do with that?
So I'm definitely looking at, I'm still looking at the win thing for sure. Some of the guys from yesterday that I think are very viable for today as well. I'm going to probably I don't know. I got a couple guys that are going out early that I feel like just haven't really put it all together yet. That can go and get rounds. Again, we have those. So if we flip over the next one here, we do have those finishing positions on DraftKings. To build a lineup here is super, super easy. All these leaders here are very reasonable priced. Keith Mitchell can be fit in. Luke List can be fit in. Stallings, Kadira. They can easily be fit in to your lineup. So I'm going to go a little bit contrarian. I think guys that I feel like are good fits for the course that haven't quite put it all together, going out a little bit earlier is going to be kind of what at least 2 of them in my lineups going out tomorrow.
Oh yeah, so I think I might potentially just like take one, I don't know. I mean, I think obviously Rory's going to be very heavily owned. I think Keith Mitchell too is going to be very, very heavily owned. A lot of people just see what they can do with a lineup when they plug him in at 7,500. For sure. But I definitely think I'm going to skew early in terms of filling out my lineups because I think that's where we're going to see some of the best scores from. And once you get away from those, those maybe first, second, third, like the bonus scoring for finish position starts to flatten out so quickly that I'd rather have people who, have a chance to go 3, 4, or 5 under.
Yeah. I do want to say before we move on to our picks, I think I said Russell Knox is going to go three birdies, 2 bogeys. I think that's exactly what he did yesterday. So I just want to bring that up. I know.
So what are the wild predictions today? That's the
wild
question.
predictions. We'll see. Should we jump into our picks here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. My first one up, again, guys starting out early. I'm going Corey Connors, 9,200 on DraftKings. He's gone 69, 72, 73. So he's getting worse every day. Why am I picking him? He's T49. He's +1. He'll be going out early. Don't know exact tee times yet. We're filming this right after the round has concluded. He's gone there through 8 birdies, 9 bogeys. Looking at his stroke gain stats through 3 days, these are total cumulative stats. His ball striking is still very, very good. 3.28 on approach, over a 1 per day, 2.71 off the tee. His tee to green is way better than where he currently is in the leaderboard, but that comes down to the short game. Around the greens, not that great, but putting minus 2.59 is one of the worst we have right now. Mm-hmm. So I think, I mean, he has been putting well. I think he can correct that for going into round 4. But looking at what he's done, why I think he's a great play, at 9,200, he won't get ownership. But over the last 24 rounds, in 9 of them, he's gained at least 3 strokes on the field. That's a 38%. We're almost talking 40%. He's gaining 3 strokes on the field. That is GPP Showdown winning potential. That's why I'm going to Corey Connors. That's probably going to be 5% or less owned.
Yeah, I think so. You know, I have a pick coming up here that is similar, but I think you can basically look at the top, you know, everyone above 9,000, and Connors is probably in the worst in terms of finishing position. And so a lot of people just, that's all they think about. But then you have to think about it. He's going to have the best conditions of any of those guys. So the problem, I mean, the putter has been a problem this week. I would say all of the guys that I have as picks today are team can't putt. So maybe don't stack all of these people because they are not all going to turn around their putter tomorrow. But I definitely like Connors as a play. I'm a little sour because I was heavy on him today and he burnt me a bit. So the bitterness shows through, but I think he's a good play again tomorrow. My first one here, so I'm going JT, 10,600. I think almost no one is going to want to pay up for that. He's even through 3 rounds. He's gone 69, 73, 71. He's tied for 38th there. 11 birdies, 7 bogeys, 2 doubles. That's how he's got to even. And how has he done it in terms of... well, he's just been, you know, classic JT over the last little bit. Essentially, tee to green, I want to say he's 7th overall through 3 rounds, and he is 75th in putting, which you would think would be the worst, but I'll come at you with someone who's actually even doing worse than that in a second here. But, you know, he's playing well aside from his putter, and he actually did have a positive day putting. It's just he had a very, very bad day putting today, and that essentially he was neutral going into the day, basically. But, you know, if you want to try to quantify how good JT has been playing aside from his putter in the last little bit here, positive off the tee in 10 of his last 12 rounds. He's averaging 0.78 just with his driver over that time. Positive approach in 16 straight rounds. He's averaging over a stroke and a half, almost 2 strokes. He's averaging 1.8 with his, approach play in that time. Positive around the green, 14 of last 16. He's averaging over a half stroke there, 0.65. So he's just, his tee to green game is on fire right now. So putting can be so random that if he goes out there and he is even or he gains a stroke, or like, it's so easy for these guys to go out there and make a couple putts and have it plus 2 day putting. So if he does that, he's going to have a very good round. He's going to be out there in the best conditions of any of the, you know, like stud types. I also think you want to look at Xander and Bryson. I think that's essentially going to be my strategy. Is I think those types of guys are going to attract such little ownership that I'm going to be putting a few of those guys into lineups for sure.
Yeah, I like it. If I build one, I'm not sure what I'll have remaining after my 3 picks. I might go up to JT, might not, but regardless, if I get there, I think it's still a great play. These are the guys that we always see them climb up the leaderboard in round 4. It's what happens every single tournament.
And it's the only time you really get these studs at the kind of ownership that you get.
Like, I know.
People go so heavily towards finish position that they just ignore these guys, I think.
Yeah. So my second pick, Cameron Davis, 7,900 on DraftKings. He's gone 70, 71, 69. He's 3 under, tied for 13th. So he's right up there in the leaderboard. But I think a great play for tomorrow. He has 1 eagle, 12 birdies, 11 bogeys. That's how he's got there. what he's done so far. So speaking of how great JT has been on approach, Cameron Davis has been unbelievable this tournament. He's 6.33 on approach. That's cumulative over the course of 3 days. He ranks second, but that's 2 straight days where he's been over 2 on approach. His off the tee, though, which is surprising, he's just about 0, which is 50th in the field. And the reason being is he's only hit 45% of his fairways through 3 rounds. So that's going to drag down your off the tee. We know he has the power to push it out there, but he needs to hit a couple more fairways. And then kind of middling short game, I guess. Very, very average. But when we look at the round breakdown, he has gained on strokes and putting in 3 straight days. So he's minus 0.6, then positive 0.8, then positive 1.6. So good, steady, constant improvement throughout. And I think he's a win positive player. We talked about these guys. He's an Aussie. I feel like he's a good coastal player. I think he's a win positive player. So Cameron Davis, T13, 7,900. I've been kind of wanting to play him or talk about him every single day. I'm going to pull the trigger in round 4.
So just to clarify, the win positive, that's just gut.
Oh, that's just me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I know he has played well in coastal and that kind of thing. And I can't think of I think Sony Open, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that is.
No, I like the Cam Davis play. No, that's what I was just clarifying. I was going to say, do you know that he gains in the win? But no, I like the Cam Davis play. I think he is, so there's kind of a no man's land there. I feel like in the 8,000s with, people that they're more expensive than it feels like they should be. And Cam Davis, I think, is decent value at 79. I don't know what ownership's going to do with him, but he's such a good ball striker that, it's so easy for him to have outlier rounds. If he has decent round putting and around the green, I think his ball striking is fairly reliable. So
yeah, but volatile for sure.
Yeah, well, it is, but I would say his approach play gives him like a fairly safe. Right. He's not as volatile as some other guys. The volatility to me is going to come with his short game and his putting. Yeah. Okay, my next one here. I said I'm going to look up top for some studs. So I'm going down low with my last 2 picks here. I'm going Aaron Wise, 6,800, all the way down there. So 72, 71, 68. He's minus 2, tied for 16th at this point. 12 birdies, 8 bogeys, 1 double. That's how he's gotten there. And essentially, he's been, poor with the putter as well. He has gained, he's top 30 everywhere else around the green, approach, off the tee. The reason I like Wise, I wasn't super high on him. His putter has been such a liability, for the past few months. But the reason that, so I didn't play him coming into the week, but he has a great history here. He only had 2 starts here before, and he, he's played well in both of his previous starts, but he's gaining essentially 2.5 strokes per round through 11 rounds now at Quail Hollow. So, it's a small sample size. It's not enough to say definitively that there's any real plus that you can give to him. But it's so significant. Like, it's such a big gain through 11 rounds that I think he's got a decent feel for it. So, whether or not that holds, I think his chances of a decent round here are better than at any other random course. But ultimately, I think the underlying thing to me is that Aaron Wise is a high variance play. So he's a good ball striker, but his putter, he's something like minus 0.8-ish with his putter over the last 4 or 5 months. So he is a high variance play, but I think that at 6,800, the potential upside is absolutely there for me. So I'll have, I'm going to build multiple lineups. I'll have a small exposure to him, but I think there is definitely that upside.
Yeah, I like it. He was on the short list for sure for me for tournament long as a sleeper because his 8 rounds here were really strong. But then ultimately, I think it was the putter and the fact that we hadn't played since 2019. Or I don't think that's enough to kind of carry him over into my lineups. But obviously, he's been playing really well. It's been worked out for people that did buy into kind of that course history. Yeah, I think everyone in the 6Ks is kind of a high variance play, but he's playing well. So I think right now it's trending up.
Yeah.
Okay, my third and final pick here. I'm going Brendan Steele, 7,100 on DraftKings. Not as low as Craig's couple guys here, but I think a really good play on Sunday. So he's gone 72, 72, 70, 1 over right there with Connors at T49, 9 birdies, 10 bogeys. Again, how has he got there? Pretty much with the ball striking again. So he's positive on approach, positive off the tee, positive around the green, and then losing some strokes putting. But this is one thing I like to see kind of when we're looking at guys in round 3 and 4 is how they've been kind of through the tournament. And Brendan Steele has improved in stroke gained putting from minus 0.7 to minus 0.3 to plus 0.7 today throughout the tournament. And stroke gained off the tee to minus 0.8, positive 0.2, positive 1.1. So every single day and those are the two stats we said we need to kind of focus on for this tournament. He's improved every single day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, in both those key stats. He was 7,700 in tournament long. He's been discounted down to 71. He had his best round on Saturday here. So I just think he's kind of a sneaky play. He's going to be going off early. I liked him. I talked about him on the Wednesday shows, one of my last cuts there at 7,700 in that area for tournament long. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go there on Sunday. I just think he's a good sneaky play at low ownership again.
Yeah, so the one problem I have is that he's right around, I almost had Charles Schwartzel here as a pick again today, but I picked him going into the week, and I've been picking him in my showdowns here, so I couldn't do it again. So that would be the one problem maybe I have, is that there are other guys around there that I like.
Sure.
But yeah. I do think you're getting value with Brendan Steele at 7,100 if you look at the guys priced around him.
Yeah.
My last one here, guy you had yesterday, Russell Knox, 6,700, 70, 71, 70. He's -2, tied for 16th. Eagle, 7 birdies, 7 bogeys. What did you say? Three birdies, 2 bogeys.
3 birdies, 2 bogeys. 1 under. And that'll do. That'll do at 6,800. Cash for me.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a shocking week in terms of his scoring. The one guy I was saying, I think it was it JT who was 75th in putting. This is the guy who's below him. Russell Knox, he has lost over 4 strokes putting, which to do that and still be -2 for JT doing that kind of thing, we're like, okay, yeah, JT's a stud tee to green, but for a Russell Knox, it's just like, holy smokes. But anyway, so his around the green game has been very good. His approach play has been very good. His off the tee has been, good but not great, I would say. For him to be in the positive half of it, I think is a good thing. The things that I really like, I mean, first off, he's tied for first in greens and regulation. He's 11th in greens and regulation coming into the week, so it is something that he does well consistently. But then on top of that, he's first in scrambling this week, so that's probably where a lot of that around the green play comes from. I don't know what he's doing to be first in scrambling, but still be so bad in putting. But I think it probably has something to do with all those greens and regulation. Maybe there's a few three putts thrown in there. But the thing that stands out, we always bring up Russell Knox. He's a wind specialist. He seems to play so well all the time in the wind. I think you're getting a guy at 6,700 -2. The problem potentially is going to be ownership. Both Wise and Knox are going to, the -2 sticks out a little bit down there when you look for that far down the price list. But I would say, so if I was looking at both of those and say you had the choice between the two, I think Wise definitely is the high variance play. And I think Knox is much more the steady. I don't expect him to blow up, but I don't expect him to go -5.
Let's just call it. We'll go 4 birdies tomorrow, 2 bogeys, a nice -2 number. I think we'd be happy.
When the course is going to be playing tough, so that's why potentially you might want Knox over a Wise, because it's going to be playing very tough once they're going out there.
And as I mentioned, for season long, he's top 20 in bogey average, so very little bogey average for him. So compared to Wise, I think that's a good point to pick up. If you're picking one of the two, high risk, high reward, or kind of a safer couple under maybe play. Yeah.
I guess it depends how crazy you're getting with the rest of your lineup.
How crazy, yeah. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for all the support. Please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet already. Craig, we're heading into Sunday. All the mothers in your life, spoil them tomorrow. Just giving you that heads up if you're watching Saturday night. But Craig, let's talk about winning prediction, winning score. And for everyone out there, comment below who you like to win and the winning score.
So I will go with Rory at -10, just because I want to see Rory win, and I think that's a relatively a decent number for him to get to.
So I'm going to go with my heart here a little bit. I'm not going with my head. I'm going to go Gary Woodland, and he does something a little special. Gary Woodland's going to go -11 to get the win, and it's going to be a really good comeback story for his kind of recent career.
Yeah. Now I should just point out this is what stalled me at the start of the video here where you're on the screen. From Aaron Wise down over on the right hand side there, those guys are all at -2. So
Okay.
so those guys are all tied for 16th. We've got Bubba at -3, and I have Wise as a pick, so I was like, I'm pretty sure that Wise is not at -3. But yeah. So just minus.
That was my fire the editor again. That's on me.
I'll throw you under the bus this time. I've made a lot of mistakes, but yeah, no. Good luck tomorrow, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, take care.